pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
to roll call. Mr. Ruiz.
Present.
Mr. Chavez.
Present.
Mr. Vasquez.
Present.
Mr. Khan.
Present.
Ms. Vasquez.
She's out of town, right? Yes.
She's in there. Mr. Navarro. Mr. Sepulveda.
Present.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
By the way, Mr. Navarro texted he's on his way.
Oh, he is, okay.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the April 10th, 2019 meeting.
Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
I wasn't here, but I'll go ahead. Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. We have a guest. Wait, this room. No, these are the minutes from last week. Assistant. Alright, we'll move on to items for discussion with possible action. Adopt a spot Independence Hills Regional Park.
Madam Chair, we're going to ask if we can please table that item as the applicant had requested to make some changes to his original proposal. I think he wanted to do some extension of a trail at Independence Park, and the plan now is to provide some signage, and so he's not. He hasn't been able to provide us with specifics, so we'd like to, if we can table that for the next meeting.
All right. Staff reports. An update on San Isidro Northeast and Los Palmares subdivision neighborhood parks. Oh, do we need a motion? Okay, do I have a motion to table adopt a spot?
Is that with the Boy Scouts, the one that's
Yes.
present here today? I make a motion to table the item.
A second motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, now staff report.
This one, we have it on the screen. This is just a quick update we wanted to give you on two neighborhood parks that were approved by this board back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. And the improvements to the two sites were going to be done by the developer. And so those are the pictures of the two different sites that we have. This one is behind Academy, and those were the plans provided by the developer. And what you see, go to the previous one, please.
The first one?
Down, yes.
Is this the one that they took a really long time to build?
It's actually it's being less than 18 months, which is what we
Never
have.
mind. That's
No,
not-
this is what we currently have out there. They have put the playground equipment, the basketball court, there's a trail, there's also some trash receptacles. Do you have those?
The third one?
And the pictures, bigger tables, and
Excuse me, which one are we looking at, San Isidro or?
San Isidro Northeast.
they're both in the same area in District 6, and they were both approved at the same time. They're also being built concurrently, both sides. And I think the last thing they're working on is seeding, because I know that they have irrigation system there.
Are they planning on putting
sorry.
any shade over the picnic tables or basketball court?
That was not part of the improvements they proposed.
Okay.
You want to go to the other one?
That could maybe go on the wish list for the council and shade structures.
Hi.
You're right.
Good evening.
Hello.
about this, Teresa?
Amazing, that will make it to a meeting.
That's the one at Los Palmares. Very similar amenities, just the difference. And this one has like an open area for practice of soccer field, and the other one has the basketball court. It's almost,
Okay, now.
because it's at like 80-90% complete, and they will soon be ready to turn it over to the city manager.
When the Parks Department looks at the plans that the developer proposes, are there, or are you starting to require or suggest more shade structures the developer takes into account?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. we
It's a
have.
really tiny one.
Yeah, that's,
Miniature little shade structure. But this one was approved
mhm.
before. Who would suggest to the developer, hey, you have a park, picnic bench here, have you thought about adding a couple trees, or have you thought about adding a shade structure? Would that be you guys, or
Now, based also on,
permit, or who?
no, the department will suggest the different things that we lack in different parts.
Thank you.
You say that that does have irrigation, were these pictures taken before?
That was part of what
They hadn't done it yet?
I think they were working on that.
Oh.
I don't know if these pictures were like a couple of weeks ago, but they were part of what they had recommended to add to.
And the developer's installing that?
All the improvements were gonna be done by the developer, yes.
Does anybody else have any other questions? Okay, we'll move on to events.
As you all know, summer is one of our busiest seasons. While we are busy year-round, summer is just that much more congested with events, if you will. July is our Parks and Recreation Month. This is a nationwide recognition, acknowledgement of asking people to go out into their parks. Having the communities in different cities appreciate, get out there. And so it is kicked off through NRPA, National Recreation Parks Association, and they select a theme for every year. And this year, the theme is Game On. And like I said, it's a nationwide push for people to get out and enjoy their parks, our park systems. And so we started this off with a proclamation last week. We've got several events planned throughout the month, one in every district, and these are parks generated. And we've got that ordinance coming that was approved with regard to whether it's a parks function or whether it's a council function event, if you will. These are all, the department has several events that we originate. They're coordinated by the department that we try to promote. And so, and then we bring on different events that council members would like to promote. And they develop and they come to us and this is what I want to do. And so we do those. These are parks generated. And so, as I said, we've got 8 different movies throughout the parks, and
Different parks?
different parks, one in every district of the city. And council assisted us with selecting movies based on the game on theme. And so any movies
It's
based
been
on.
popular, the movies.
They have, it just depends on the district. And of course, you've got 100 in the weather.
Yeah.
Some days you've got 99
Pretty
in
well.
July, some days it's 108, you know.
This year was 114, I think.
Yeah, and so it's just, it's
Fingers
difficult.
crossed.
I know,
Yeah.
this whole, for the next 2 weeks, I think the highest is supposed to be 106. So we'll see. But those are factors that play a big,
I just drove through the rain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The whole way
it was
we drove
drizzling.
through the rain. Okay. Yeah.
Now,
we've got an event tonight, so it
That's why I
should be
slowed
cool.
down. I slowed down to enjoy the rain.
now I
Yeah.
know that, excuse me, I know that the Web Heritage Foundation for Thanksgiving, not Thanksgiving, for Halloween has that, movie out, you know, where they, you know, show those
Mhm.
old movies and they get good attendance, you know. Small group, but you know, they get, you know, good attendance.
It's an opportunity to see a movie outside. I mean, these movies, we're not going to show something that's currently at the theater. They've got to be age appropriate.
Yeah, I wanted to save some money.
So, you know, we've got to be careful on what we're showing. So it's for the family who wants to sit outside and have a picnic type environment and watch a movie, sit outside, enjoy your park. And so that's the purpose of this. And so, like I said, it just depends. We've had some that have had hundreds of people. We've had others that have like maybe 50. And so they are free. We do want the community to come out, and so we partner with police department. They bring us some, they hand out popcorn and popsicles and what have you, and then of course the parks department and solid waste. They help us with the trash, and so we partner with a couple of different departments, and they help us put these together. So as I said, it just depends. So those are some of the events that we do. Eddie is our PIO for the department, so I wanted him to talk about some of the events that we've done so far.
Well, good afternoon. Good evening. I don't know. We had two events for 4th of July. I was able to attend the one at Independence Hills. And basically, if you've ever gone to Independence Hills, it's a spread out wide park, and it was packed. So I give you a guesstimation, but it'll be 2,000 to 3,000, 4,000, maybe even more. That's how many people were out there. It was hot.
Wow.
It was nice and windy though, but there was people out there, and a big group of people were out there barbecuing, having a good time with their families. They reserved their spaces. We had a big old water slide for the kids to be running around, and also there was kids playing. I mean, I could have filled up this whole presentation just on those pictures. But there was kids playing basketball. There was kids running around on their skateboards out there. There was kids on the bike. The whole park was full, and even the dog park area they had dogs out there.
At a band?
And we had 2 live bands out
Okay.
there. We had a good crowd. A lot of people, Southside elected officials from the city and county joined together and hosted this with the main assistance of Councilman Vidal Rodriguez and Rudy Gonzalez and Mercurio Martinez, along with the city of Laredo, of course, and parks. And PD was out there. Everybody was out there having a good time. It was a long day, and everybody had a great time. And PD did a tremendous job on controlling traffic flow there too. And they were out there helping us a lot. So it was a good crowd out there, and it was a very enjoyable event. And then another event we had just recently was Movies in the Park in North Central Park. This was done at a different location. We usually would have movies in the park at the swimming pool area. We went and did it on the back side, area of the retention pond in the back towards the loop. And we had a small crowd, but they were very enthusiastic, people in that area. Once the sun came down, more people showed up. This was prior to, it was still a little bit warm at that time, but as you could see, they were starting to come in, and they used up a good portion of this right here. And they had a good time. We had some food vendors out there for people to buy. People brought their own picnic baskets. They brought their chairs, their tape. Some people took their tents. Some people took their lawn chairs and blankets, and they went out there and had a good time.
Councilman is trying to promote this area. It is a beautiful area to do a blank slate. You can create anything that you want in this area. It's in the most northern part of North Central Park. It's adjacent to Concentrics. It flanks Concentrics. We have access to parking in that area and free parking. So it lends itself to some really great events. And this is the first time we've ever done something in this area. That whole area has been cleared out. It's got some nice vegetation on the base of it. It's been leveled, if you will. The area has been leveled, and so water, it is a retention pond, and so when water comes from the west side through the pipes, it will quickly evaporate and go west. So it comes from the east, it'll go west, and then it'll go down south. So the whole idea is to clear this area quickly so that water doesn't pond there. And so it's got a lot of great ideas for this park. Like I said, it's a lot of real estate, and we'll be able to do concerts in the park, and I think that's going to really take off in that area. So really excited about trying to come up with events for this side.
There's a lot of room for people to sit out, and
Exactly.
you could do a concert there and
Yep.
have a lot of people show up.
And there's access for vehicles, so we can get the vehicles inside. We have the food trucks there, so there's a way to get them through from Valds Park and drive them through the dirt road, if you will, and get them onto the property so that they can go to the back. So works out really well.
I like the
layout
idea
is
of
really
combining
good.
the food trucks and all that. It's
Yeah.
pretty neat.
I think we'll be able to do the same thing. You know, it just depends on the area as to whether or not an event is going to hit. You know, in some areas we've got some events that just do it. It's just the same with our recreation programs. You do some programs, East Laredo, West Laredo doesn't like them, you know, and so they don't work in one side. It's just the demographics and what the preferences are. So I think in this park, I can see a lot of outdoor concerts, yeah, and the
In the
area lends
evening.
itself. Yes,
Yes.
and I want to wait until October, do some festivals,
Is there
maybe
any,
November.
is there any irrigation in that area?
Not on the bottom, it's a basin, and so there's none, but on top there is. And so we actually had a water slide. We were able to tap onto one of the irrigation pipes to access water for the hose.
And are there trees up on the top where the irrigation is?
Not in that particular area, there's some a little bit further south. Are we planning on putting trees up to, close to there?
Yes, that was something that Councilman had
Talked about,
requested.
and kind of provide some kind of shade for maybe earlier.
We're just waiting on the season, maybe
And
like
this is all
November.
Martinez, right?
Yes,
This is nothing.
It was an introduction to the community of this area here, and I guess, like Ms. Stanley was saying, is that there's a lot of great ideas that are being talked about and see, and especially concerts outside.
How many
And this is
acres
perfect.
is that area more or less?
Wow, that's a good question.
5, 3?
No.
It's bigger than that.
It's bigger than that.
Five.
I was gonna say like close to 10.
I would say,
It's a long-
yeah.
Nice big area.
It is, that's why, when we were walking it, it's a lot of real estate to have, it's a blank slate, it's just
No, because.
come up with and try. I learned at a conference one year, there's never a failure in a program because you do not know until you do it whether the community is going to embrace it. And so you try it, oh, try something else, and try something else. And it's cool because we've got a variety of possibilities.
So where is this? I heard you guys whispering. Is it behind Convergence?
The old
Yeah.
The old
Convergence, which
Convergence,
is now
old Concentrics.
Concentrics, that's in
Where is that?
Best
That's by the
Buy.
loop,
Canada
Okay.
Boots.
by Chili's,
Petco and.
So it's behind that?
By the HEB.
behind
That's-
Petco, right?
Okay.
Well, it'd be Best
Behind-
Buy,
Michael's.
Behind the pet
Best
store?
Buy,
Yes.
Cavender.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's Best Buy, Cavender's, all of those.
Yeah.
Right.
Across.
It's Chick-fil-A and then it's
Best Buy.
Best Buy.
Cavender's.
It's behind that.
And then it'll connect all the way down to the Gold's Gym. Also, it's, yeah, it's
Pretty
pretty.
thing we had right.
We have the map, the Google
So for things like this, when you do the flyer, do you include a map? I never would have found this.
I don't even know where it's at.
Can you,
I mean,
can you do
personally,
a
I
Google
never,
though?
ever would have found it. I
So we
would
can
have
put
gone to where the
the
school
south
is, and I would have driven around, and then I
It's
would have gone.
outside maybe. I don't
You
know.
think
I
it's-
didn't buy it, I don't know what it is, bro.
You're not invited north to
I
South.
never, in a million years would have
If you don't
found
get a
that.
map, forget it. Well, I like the idea, 'cause it reminds me of the good old days when we used to have the
Uh-huh.
drive-ins.
Mhm.
See, that's a little.
Oh, there's the first. Okay.
Here's the.
So it's right here.
It's right there.
Keep going north.
And then it goes all the way down like this.
That's, the mouse is
all
kind of like,
this.
I'm moving it and it
This is all
doesn't
park.
move.
It's a
This is
big
discount
park.
tire,
It's a
right?
real long, big park.
So that's,
But I think this
This is the
Convergence is
area.
on to your left.
this is concentrics, right there.
Right.
Here's the HEB.
Is that Best Buy's on the right?
And
There's
then
more.
Best Buy is right here.
Best
How
Buy,
do you
Cavender's,
access
and this is
it?
Convergence.
Then that's
You'll
Walmart or
go,
what?
you'll go to Concentrics,
Concentrics now.
that's Monarch.
Wow.
Or you can park right here, but it's a long walk from here. Like, this is a parking lot at,
Falls.
John Ball. Yes, here we have the sand volleyball court, you have the basketball court. So you walk the trail here, up there.
And that
there's a
cement structure right there, you can walk over that.
Mm-hmm,
It's a bridge.
it's like a bridge.
When you did the flyer for this, did you include directions or anything?
The address and the street's name and the
It has an
building.
address? That
of-
location
of the
has an
mon-
address?
It was stated Monarch, I believe, 22, 24 something.
Monarch.
The block number
This
of
is
Monarch.
the Monarch Street.
So people were,
There's
people
only
were-
one
was the
entrance,
address given?
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Concentrics?
There's only one entrance?
there's many entrances because people were parking up,
By the gas station.
by the gas station.
Here.
There's a lot of parking
Probably
areas
even at
that are open to
Concentrics.
the public. But we had live remote and they were telling people to go to Concentrics because all that parking on the base, on the bottom, all of that is City of Laredo parking.
Okay.
And so, but on top of that, they partnered with and so allowed people to park there wherever they could fit. And so it's never a full parking lot. So the
Okay.
remotes were talking people to come to this area on top of the flyer having the Monarch address.
The remotes.
We had live remotes from the radio
Radio.
station.
Mm.
Plus, they were mentioning also during the couple days to the event, the DJs and the radio station at Gala and Z93 and Big Buck were mentioning. Yeah, and basically what they were saying is behind the old Converge's building, which clicked a lot of
So I
people
would
there.
say people who are from here might know the old Convergys building.
Mhm.
I would not know the old
Right.
Convergys building.
You're not from here?
No, not. So I don't know, I mean, it might be, I think it would be nice to have just like a very simple outline map, not a detailed map.
I
but just-
agree, and we'll
an
definitely
outline map.
incorporate it for any
Mhm.
future event, because that's very good advice.
Again, this was with like our first attempt on seeing,
Put it look better.
yeah.
I'm excited, I didn't even know that was back there. I didn't realize.
And there was a couple people that were there also that said the same
That's where the
thing.
Reddit's
probably one of the
goes, you
best
can
parks
see
in
how it loops
Laredo.
around.
North Central Park.
It's got a
It's so
huge
long and
variety.
expansive, and
Can
it's
you
got
scroll
all
to the
kinds of
swimming pool? So it's-
trails, and you can bike on it and
Yep.
jog, and
Huge variety of activity.
See the linear system?
This here, right here, then you cross San Isidro Parkway,
That's what we go to.
and then the pool is right here.
So you know that, then you know that.
So
That's
it's
that pool right there, the
international.
heated pool,
Mm-hmm.
is that what it is?
I'm not a runner.
So from here,
There's parking there. and-
trails, go over here, and then cross San Isidro Parkway, all over.
Is that the route that you jog every day?
All of us,
Oh,
it's mandatory.
we can tell.
Which is great in your
That's
park.
kind.
And the meters on.
Really long.
I know. So that's North Central Park.
Where are the movies in the park for District 5? Which was? Las Castañeras?
Today.
Yes, and that's tonight.
Okay. Is it a regular, like is it every second Wednesday of the month then? Or is
Yeah,
it
ma'am.
on a rolling
It's
thing?
just depending on when council's available. July is also a difficult time to schedule because a lot of people are out on vacation and such. And so we're trying to work around the council members' schedules.
I see, so the council members like to be there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. They're
It's
very
tonight.
supportive.
It's tonight, so it's going on like right now, or?
It starts
At
at
6.
6 and people are just starting to gravitate towards the park itself. The movie won't be shown until about 8:30.
What movie is it?
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
That's a movie?
Yes, Space Jam.
It's an awesome movie.
Tomorrow's Rudy.
Another good movie.
That's a good
Football.
movie.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
What district is that?
Rudy is being shown, I think, in 2 different districts.
Santa Fe Park.
District one?
Yeah.
It's not the fifth over there by the trailer.
By Cañones.
South Florida.
By the trailer park? Where the trailers are?
What do you think? It's before Santa Rita.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right there, yeah. Next one.
Yeah, it's
And it's not.
So is there somewhere on the
What part
park's
is it?
website that says movies in the park and it has a whole list
Right
of
there
the
by
movies?
everything, so.
Or how do I find out about the movies that are coming out?
There is
Paulita's
one
Yeah.
Or how do I
flyer.
direct people
It's
to
the
that?
20.
I saw the other T ad. I think y'all did a full page.
Yes.
Y'all did a full page ad. And
359.
there, people are messaging me, what district am I in? And I said, well, where do you So I was able to answer their
That
question.
one picture had a list on the right.
Yeah, if I, let me see, this one here has the, right here.
That flyer?
Oh, yeah,
That's the
yeah,
one that
that's the one
came
I
out in
saw.
the
Right.
paper.
Yeah.
Is that on Parks website, Eddie?
The parks, we had corrected, so I'm not sure we had a chance to put it on today.
Was that
But
emailed
Those
to
are all the
us?
events right there?
Yes.
Was it emailed to us as parks members or advisory members? Okay.
I like some of the stuff you're doing on Facebook. That's, y'all have done some nice stuff on Facebook.
Can you email that?
Yes,
to me?
ma'am.
That would be.
Eddie, do you
that's
have the
great.
current one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the
Can
new
you
one?
share it with all Parks?
Yeah, I'll send it to Ms.
Yes, that's the new one.
Gloria to,
I
and
changed
she
it.
can send it out tomorrow morning.
What is it?
And this is done by the Parks Department, not the council
Moving
members
park.
themselves, just in
So
support.
this is.
That's the updated one.
Oh, that's.
Yes.
Because there are movies in the park done by the Parks Department, right? Or are
Yes,
they
ma'am.
always done by council?
No, ma'am.
They were
Well,
on Facebook,
it
who would they
depends.
follow? Just basically.
Well, I,
Some are just
Laredo
Laredo
Parks.
Park.
purely Parks
Oh.
Department, and
Yes, ma'am.
some are,
Requested by council to put an event for it.
okay. Is there a list of, so then when Parks does the movie in the park, is there a schedule, like every second Wednesday of the month?
No, ma'am.
Movie.
These are the only ones that we're gonna do. We
The
are
For
not,
2019.
For July.
these are for the department, that Parks Department is going to do, these are the only ones that Parks is gonna do.
Okay.
Council members will come to us and ask us to assist with an event that they've got in mind to do.
Space
Okay.
Jam.
And so they will ask us for different components to do that event, whether it's a movie, groups, what have you, an outdoor festival of sorts. And so those events are in addition to what we already do.
Okay. So at this moment, Parks Department does not have any plans to do additional movies in the park, like in August or September?
No, but I can guarantee you that
There will be some.
there will be some, because historically, since we bought this outdoor movie screen, it's become very popular in the community, and so we have historically done events in August and September and in October. We've done them on Halloween.
Just blow up.
So we have this like
Close
big
it onto
outdoor
screen.
Halloween contest or event, and
Yeah, it's a.
we ended with
It's
movie
a
and
35-foot.
Set it in the middle of Casablanca Lake.
Maybe
Then Jaws or water.
There you go.
Jaws on the water.
There you go.
Do you think there's a chance that at these events, we could put up something there that says like our Facebook page or to promote the page? Because I'm looking at it right now, and there's 12,000 followers.
I didn't even know you had a Facebook
But
page.
just
I think
to,
that's
No one's on
more
Facebook.
followers than LMT has. I mean, what's
yeah, I mean,
what's the
at
readership
the
of
app,
LMT?
Facebook is like a
Yeah.
lot better than,
20-some-odd thousand, I think.
Oh,
but
it
that way
is.
as people show up, they can
It
see.
just depends
you
on
know.
whether it's Monday through
Or
Friday
share
or
your
just
page.
Sunday.
Yeah, actually, you can put it out, you can probably create a banner just to put on the screen on the bottom. So,
At the actual events.
Yeah, at any
Or like
event.
before the movie starts, have it, like our Facebook page or something like that, so that we can get more people to start. It's a great way to communicate. I mean, it's a good page.
Well, the website that we have currently, we're in the process of revamping it. We have contracted with a company here, and they are in the middle of
Revamp.
rebranding us.
Okay, cool.
And so really excited about that. So it's gonna be very user friendly.
Because everybody goes to the phone now, it's all about on the
Yeah.
phone as quickly
I
as
know,
possible. so.
I know, a lot, computers are,
Web pages are not.
this is kind of like turned into, I know Gracie carries a larger one,
Yeah.
and I've got mine in my office. It's just, sometimes it's just easier to grab this and go, and you know that you're gonna be working, reading emails or what have you. So I agree with you, and this is why we decided to update our website,
Good.
because right now it's very stagnant. And we can't add a lot to it right now, because the software is very antiquated with what it was made with originally. So we're definitely getting there, we're excited. We're also looking at rebranding our Parks logo. So we'd like to bring that to y'all, so that you all can see that as soon as it's ready. So it's a new redesign, so we're gonna kick off our new logo and our new website at about the same time.
So for movies in the park, I'm not familiar with some of these parks. The Concord Hills Park, I don't know where that is. I know where Father McNamara is, but I don't know necessarily where the movie would be. So for these, I mean, can I just Google Concord Hills Park? I mean, how do I find out where specifically in the park it's going to be?
You will be able to Google it. The movie itself, no, but all of these parks, with the exception of North Central,
It's obvious.
yes, as soon as you go down for Father McNamara, you're gonna go down the hill, and you'll see it immediately on your right.
Okay.
And so for all other parks, North Central was the exception.
So everything else, you just go through the main entrance of the park
Yes,
and
ma'am.
it's there. Okay.
Yes.
Looking for Concord Hills. Concord Hills is off of 359,
Yes.
across the
The SAC.
SAC.
Okay,
Concord Hills is right here.
It's right here. And it says Concord Hills right
Which we had a discussion, find out that it's an HOA action, right?
here.
It's run by an HOA?
was that the one that HOA wasn't maintaining it? And the city took it over?
No, the city did some,
So that little thing is an HOA?
the improvements, yes, on this. We have a basketball court here, we have a playground.
What park is that?
Concord
Concord
Hills.
Hills across from the SAC.
Now we have here, parking. Right here.
So the city is using that park for movies in the park, but they're not maintaining it because it's an HOA park. Okay.
But we do go and do some maintenance because it's,
Is that legal?
it's because we have like, what's it called, the MOU?
Memorandum of understanding
Okay.
with the HOA.
Is that a drainage area? It is.
Always,
That's what I wanted
yeah, all this here,
to
all the way to, it goes through Las Misiones and Lago del Valle, here, currently under construction.
The green patch, that green patch up there, is that to be developed? What's that gonna be?
I don't remember the name of the development.
It will be
there.
developed eventually?
It's actually
Is that Diaz?
in the planning process. No, it's not Diaz,
That's
it's,
Eddie Gassa's project?
I wanna say Sunset, but it's not Sunset, it's,
A residential, right?
So that whole green space will eventually be developed?
Yeah, I think that's another picture. I don't think that green space is there anymore.
No, I think it's this one, Solar Development.
Oh, that's, Tony Sanchez?
Tony Sanchez,
Tony Sanchez,
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, all that's gone.
All of this is, right now, it's being developed. And the drainage is here, and it goes all the way
To the
crosses
creek?
here to Independence through the creek. That was the idea, to connect all the way to Independence. Like a linear system. Because this is what it's developed.
Well, that's the park at Independence where we had the 4th of July event. You can see how large it is. It definitely lends itself. Council has been very supportive in developing that area.
Which park is that?
Independence Hills, it's a regional park.
You can go under that bridge. Can you go under that bridge? Merida?
Yes.
You can go under that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. So
You
you can
can,
walk.
yes,
You can
the
actually-
trail takes you over here to the
Pond.
pond area,
See the connection? right
under
there?
here.
And eventually
Right here.
that trail this way will go underneath the big bridge?
Correct.
Route 20?
The Cuatro Vientos,
Oh, cool.
that's the idea. Somehow to cross here
Yeah,
and to connect to Concord Hills and then
and go down that trail.
the Tony Sanchez and Lago del Valle. And then there's another one that's called Campo Real, next to Lago del Valle, right here. That's Tony Sanchez, and then Las Misiones being developed right now, the park.
And there's a trail system that goes from the river over, right?
Chacon.
I think that's what it connects to Chaco.
Does it connect to that also?
Yes, this one goes, let me see.
Are you getting to Haynes Rec Center?
That's the one that's right there.
Yes, the Haynes is,
It's further north.
Chacon goes through Haynes,
Starts at Eastwoods.
and yes.
The trail starts at Eastwoods and it'll take you all the way down to the river. If you
Right
all
here.
haven't done it, you need to ride
This
your
one
bike
here.
on it. It's a beautiful trail.
How do you get to Independence from the Brothers? I didn't realize it was so close to the Brothers.
Yeah, I drive by.
Oh, yes.
Well,
But,
How do you drive? Like if you're in Century City, what's the road you would take to get to Independence
Don't
Hills?
you have to come back out?
Guadalajara, it's, you have to go like through Guadalajara, which is the road, south of the Brothers.
Is
Okay.
there a trail map maybe on the park's website?
I saw it, but I don't know if that was from the,
I thought I saw something
the
at the building
improvements,
department.
when we're doing like the Viva Laredo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like a biking trail or
It's
a
not on the
hiking trail?
website.
I think they have like a master plan, hike and bike, map. And I think I saw it at the building department.
Definitely, it'll be something we're going to incorporate into the new website. Right now, our website, like I said, we can't do a lot. We can change calendars and change and put banners, if you will, photos. But that's all we can do. The new one that we're going to do.
Printable hike and bike, you know, maybe map would be great.
We do have a map at Shiloh Trails, if I'm not mistaken. There's a map right outside.
For the whole city?
No, just for the Shiloh Trail, so you can know where
Yeah.
you're at. The one
I'm talking
Shiloh, we
about-
put
yeah.
one.
Yeah, a citywide map for all trails.
Yeah, because I know that some of these, they interweave and they go like, they're really, really long trails and you connect them all. It's neat.
Volunteer.
I think Laredo would have it too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right here.
Right,
Mismo
yeah.
Lano.
Here's
Here's
the-
Okay.
the Brothers, and so you take Mexico, and then through Guadalajara, go to Merida.
Okay.
This is the.
So from the church or from that hill, you can actually see the park. You just can get to it that way.
Yeah, from here.
Okay.
It's a beautiful park.
Yeah, because I've seen them walk across, but I didn't realize they were walking the trails to get to Independence Hills. Okay.
How's the lazy river doing?
Good,
Got a lot of people visiting it?
very
It
good.
looked really nice when I saw the pictures of it.
Yes, it's been very well received.
Good.
And so we left the prices low enough so that it's not going to break a family of 5 or 4 or 3
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go, and so that they can go frequently.
Just
So-
at night.
Oh, wow, at night, it's
It's
really nice.
amazing. We had a
Wow,
party
really
there
nice.
this last weekend for Dr.
There's a
Ives.
message.
Yeah.
They had rented the
Several.
facility. And so it,
So you can rent the whole facility.
you can rent the whole facility.
Expensive?
Not necessarily. What you do need to pay for is the guards. And so it's per hour for 3 hours, but you will need 12 guards there if I'm not mistaken.
Wow,
And you need to pay,
12 guards.
yes, because of the slide, you've got 3 water sources.
Oh, okay, so they're more like lifeguards?
Yeah.
Okay, not like
Yeah, I've
security.
seen
Oh, I can see No, not at all. We've not had any issues there at all. It's, I think people are definitely taking ownership of it, which is very good to see. But no, lifeguards. And so, because it's 3 different bodies of water,
Yeah.
and none of them are fenced in, so you can't segregate one area over the other. So you do need to make sure that you have all
What
areas.
are the hours of
covered.
operation? More or less.
It's in the afternoon, I want to say noon. 12 or 1 o'clock.
It's 1.
1 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
To what?
And we're open till 7.
1 to
Is it
7.
heated?
Every day?
Or will it close when all the
Tuesday-
other pools close?
Tuesday to Sunday, except Monday. Mine is maintenance. All
It's
water parks are
not
closed
here.
for maintenance.
So it'll close when everyone goes back to school with all the other pools?
That's one of the things that we're trying to work on. The slide probably will. And
Okay.
we need to, those are still things that we need to figure out. Because we're trying to heat all of our pools. We're also trying to update, we've used UV rays, UV system. So we've implemented that in Bartlett.
Like just panels that go on top of the pool?
No, it's actually a system, so the water will go through the pump systems and go to the UV system and then be pumped back out. And
So
so,
they're gonna get hotter?
who, the people?
No, the pools.
Well, I'm not thinking,
Gonna get hotter.
I'm not thinking hotter for the
Let's change
sports,
things from
for the
one.
sports swimmers. I'm thinking, I mean, September, October, It's warm enough to swim. It's just if the pool isn't heated, it's too cold, the water's too cold.
Right, Bartlett does have a, we've got, Bartlett, Inner City, 3 Points, and we're working on Haynes, have heaters. So we're trying to upgrade. There's a couple of other things that we'd like to do with our pool system.
One of the things that I've done in the past is the color of the plastering. If you do it black, you tend to have a longer season.
The only problem with that is it's a safety issue because the darker the base,
You don't see the bottom.
you don't see the bottom of the pool, and if you've got a lot of kids in that pool, it's a little bit more difficult to see if somebody's under. So on a liability issue, but it looks really pretty. 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, staff painted in preparation Sierra, which is where the lazy river is, the original pool, and they painted it a beautiful dark blue. Not dark blue, but darker blue, deep like aqua. And that looks so pretty. And the guy came from our insurance and he's like, wow, that water looks amazing. Look how clear it is. Oh, wait a minute.
Repaint
That's the bit, yeah. This is still good, but we're going into the lighter shades, you know, and, oh, okay. He said, but you all are still good. This is still light enough to wear, but that's the reason. So,
Safety issue.
yeah, we have to be very cognizant of that.
Can we have the mouse back?
There's just one more
Just
screen. This was just. And these are the next 3 coming up. This one's right now, going on right now, Space Jams. Rudy tomorrow at Santa Fe Park. And Angels in the Outfield next week at BP Newman Park,
That was cute.
South Parade.
For me, what would be helpful to know is when the movie actually starts. So usually the movie starts at 8:30, and maybe people just assume that it starts when it's dark. But it's not really dark until 9. So,
Depending on how you angle the screen, because if you angle it facing east, you can do
It's
it
okay.
earlier. If you angle it facing west, you've got to wait until the sun's all the way down.
Also, if it's cloudy outside.
Yeah, a little bit overcast. So the movie generally starts
Yeah.
at 38:40.
You find outcomes as to as you do it along, you know.
Yes, a lot of what we do is
Yes.
trial and error, because if you're throwing an event, you plan in accordance with what your experience is, and you'll cover all these angles, and you'll still find something that, wow, we need to add that to our next one. So
if people come at 8:30, are there still seats? Are there still places for them to sit?
there's still seating available. We don't
Okay.
provide seats.
Right,
They
right,
bring-
but
yes.
there's still places available for
Yes,
them.
absolutely. We've never had a movie event where it's literally been
Okay,
wall-to-wall people. Even with a couple of hundred people, you still have room to sit.
That's it.
I have been wanting to ask about the scooters. I keep seeing scooters around town in random spots. Can you discuss how do people get the scooters? They can just leave them anywhere. How do you find them if you want a scooter?
It's an app.
It's an app.
It's an app and-
So it's not a parks thing. It's
No.
a private
Private.
enterprise.
Yes.
It's-
Someone is doing scooters.
It's a pilot program that the city approved, and you get an app, and you put your credit card, and you walk up to the scooter, and you just plug in the number of the scooter, and
They have
it
3 or
bills
4
you for it
employees.
bills you for the time that you use it.
And
And they found
50 cents
several
a
of them
minute.
in Laredo on the GPS. They've already gone missing.
so this company will go around and make sure that they all have batteries. The batteries are
They pick them
charged.
up at night.
Yeah.
Oh, they
They
do.
pick them all up, they're trackable, and they take them to a general site, central's location,
Okay.
and we charge. And
I think they have permission to be on city right away. That was the big deal.
In San Antonio, they actually will pay anyone. You get signed up as a charger,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go and pick it up, take it to your house, charge it, and then they'll pay you based on how much charge you put on each unit. So there's kids that'll go at night with their pickup and pick up 20, take them home and charge them, and they get money paid to them for charging the units.
Parents don't
Parents
know.
pay them.
And the parents like a whole other business, just the charging of the units.
their electric
The
bill is
electric
coming
bill,
in
yeah.
about $100 more or whatever.
And the parents don't even know
what's
that.
going on.
That's funny.
So are they gonna get the scooters out of North Laredo? Really
I
curious.
think they're gone.
They're just, yeah.
They said they're very.
No,
They
Which is-
can't go there, right?
Which
They
is
can't
interesting.
explain.
No, there is a certain,
And it just shuts off?
right.
But they'll,
That's
you
why
know,
I'm saying
they'll
it's
take them to
interesting.
privacy. They
Don't
can
make them work, don't make them work over
They'll
there.
make them work.
Terrible.
Are there any items for next meeting?
I have several things I'd like to discuss with respect to Mercurio's district, if it's okay, if I can bring them up.
We can discuss it, right? We don't need to save them for next, you wanna discuss them or you want updates
No,
on
it's
things for next
just,
meeting?
it's just information to, that, things that he wanted for me to bring up. Okay, slaughter,
Before we start, can we, as chairman, can you go back to communications and then let him open
Sure.
up to discuss? That
Okay.
way it's under.
Do I have a motion to go to communications?
So moved.
second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Uh,
Motion passes.
Oh,
Okay, you're up.
Okay, Slaughter Park. He would like for the staff to put together some type of a plan for handicap accessible playground equipment for Slaughter Park. And some type of a number as far as how much he would have to come up with to fund it. He has several, I guess, people in that area that have handicapped children, and they would like to be able to swing their children and do certain things, so handicap accessible. At Santa Fe Park, Community Development is putting together funding for a design on the undeveloped 13 acres. And with possible walking trails and maybe a possible field. And he just wanted for me to let you all know that that's kind of in the works. Santa Rita. My understanding is that's the #1 spot of human trafficking in this whole area. Did you all know that?
No, I didn't.
That's what Border Patrol has told me, that that's the #1 spot of crossing people illegally. And so he would like to possibly do more gazebos with some type of a picnic table or something in the gazebo. Right now, it just has one little bench, but maybe change it out and put like a picnic table or something, and barbecue pits. He wants to see if he can attract more people to the park, so that if it's more populated, maybe there'll be less traffic.
Human smuggling.
Yeah. He also said that the library is not being used hardly at all. That's at the top of the hill at the, and that he'd like to look at the possibility of maybe changing that into a community center for the park versus a library, or maybe make the library portion smaller since it's mainly going all digital, and convert maybe part community center, part library as an idea. Also, he wanted to know if there's a significance on the name of the park, Parque España. Is there any significance of why it's called Parque España?
I believe that was, let me,
Was it dedicated to somebody? Okay.
I think it was
If
part
it
of
doesn't
the
have
dedication.
significance, then he wants to explore changing it.
Let me look for the dedication, because I want to say that was the official name under the dedication, that was a request.
Okay.
But I think I do have the file for that.
On Sola, the street that goes all the way down to the house, the developer to the north is requesting for them to be able to pave that street, but to be able to use the street as access to their homes. So the homes are going to back up to the street, and they will be backing into the street to get out of their home.
How are they doing so now?
There's no homes. They're about to develop the property, and so that's the street that they want to create, that street for the access to all of the homes. In other words, there's going to be homes lined up on that street.
North of the, or
North of the access.
Right there.
So they would pave and improve.
Can you name the developer like?
It's Farrell and Wires.
Yeah, Wires. Okay. Let me check on the plats and with planning.
Okay.
What's the?
But I know that's sort of in the works. They're talking about paving the street, giving the street, I guess, dedicating the street to the city, or improving the street for the city. And maybe I think it's already owned by you all. So it would be just improving the street, but they would back up their homes all along that street.
So they'll have double frontage. In other words, the house will be facing one street, and then their backyard will be facing the other street.
Maybe so. I'm not sure about that, but that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
But
where.
I know they want the cars to back up into the street to get out. So it wouldn't be, it'd be like a regular street, not like a main avenue.
Right. I need to check on the restrictions for that access. If it's an easement, if it's a.
And then I told him about the idea of turning the home into like a little museum with maybe bird pictures or something, maybe like little recordings. And he said, you know, he is interested in improving the whole Sola. So if you all come up with a plan, he'd be, you know, willing to continue to fund that project.
There was a plan through
It's a nice area. It's just there's nothing there. It's
With
just
risk.
Rio Grande International.
yeah. So.
There's some improvements to the house already because they wanted to do that as a center for bird watching.
Mhm.
And so I don't know if that ever, the contract with them materialized, or what is it that it's pending, but we've done some improvements to the house for that
And then
purpose.
he's also working with Richie Achar
Uh-huh.
to a donation of a bunch of land
Mhm.
that's going to tie into, is it Santa? I forget which park it is, but
Santa Rita,
it's Santa Rita.
probably, yeah. We just, the last council meeting we had,
They discussed it?
18 acres.
Something
I
like
believe,
that. Yes, that's
In
what it
River
was.
Hill. River Hill
That's what it was.
subdivision. It passed,
It passed.
yes. Mhm.
I think there was going to be a portion of it that was going to be
So like a
Donated.
connection.
donated for parkland,
Right.
to get the parkland monies. So I think they were going to divide it up, 2 acres and then 16 or something like that. Yeah.
I'm not sure, I need to see the agreement, and I know that legal was working on that agreement because the way it passed, it was a donation, not a dedication, which is different.
Right.
The dedication is like to comply with the park dedication ordinance, and so that included some type of waiver of the
the fees.
fee.
Park fees.
And since it went as a donation, it's just, here's the land, not asking for any,
Right.
and.
I thought they were going to do 2 acres as dedication and then 16 acres as donation,
Okay.
or something like that.
I didn't see that in
Okay.
the item, but I need to check with legal, because I know that Mr. Achar wanted some credit for that donation.
And then the last item is if it would be possible for me to talk to the person who's in charge of construction.
Mhm,
I'm helping El Cenizo
mhm.
with the possible design and construction of a little park. And I just need a little bit of advice as far as like equipment suppliers and stuff like that.
Oh, okay,
If that's possible.
okay. We do have, some list of vendors and catalogs and the type of equipment that we usually provide.
Yes,
It's,
recommendations or
the
whatever.
recommendation is usually like.
It's a
the-
very
the-
simple little park. It's nothing extravagant, so
Okay.
it's just a little information.
Whenever you want to go by the office,
Okay,
we'll
I
be.
just call you?
Yes.
Good question, the Santa Rita soccer fields that are out there, do we run water from the wastewater treatment plant there to water the grass? There's no effluent that's being used,
But they're irrigated.
We have
irrigated?
irrigation there. Yeah, my concern with what Councilman Mercurio wants, as far as the gazebos, or it's all that area is in the floodplain. All the area is, we have a restriction as to what we can build there. No permanent structures are allowed for us to, just because that's gonna be
There
an
are
issue.
gazebos existing.
I think
On
it's,
top.
It's like 4.
On the top side?
No?
no, by the
Right on the
center
field.
field.
Yeah, it's like for the teams or whatever when they're
And
playing.
if I'm not mistaken, the only, I guess the requirement for that is for those to be removable. Like in
Yes, yes.
case of a,
Mhm.
big, I guess, flood, we can just, staff can go and remove all of that equipment.
Like the park here by the river, right?
Yes, los tres Laredos. And when we hear about it,
Yeah.
then staff go and take all the barbecue pits and picnic tables and.
Does the Parks Department advertise any of the particularly special items with CBB? Like the lazy river? Does CBB have that on, visit Laredo, what to do, and then visit the lazy river? I mean, obviously not for all the parks, but for the ones that really, are special or unique.
I have to go back and review it, but I don't remember seeing anything on CVB's website about that.
Okay. But do you ever tell CBB to, like, hey, you know, we just finished Lays River, it's super beautiful, why don't you put that on a Visit Laredo section? Do you ever do any joint, I don't know, cooperation with CBB?
We haven't. It's definitely something that we can look into doing.
So I mean, the lazy river is something I think people would want to go to that aren't from Laredo, you know, they're visiting and what's new to do.
This attraction.
Are there any other items for communications? Okay, are there any, do I need to go back to items for next meeting, or do I just adjourn? Adjourn. Okay. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. All right.
Tonight, there's staff. What did we provide?
Kirby Q. Did you hear that? Kirby Q.
Kirby. Oh my
This is
God.
not Kirby.
How did that turn out? Did you go?
The planning director's name is Kirby. And
Uh-huh.
he had like a press conference kind of thing, and he made barbecue for everybody.
Oh,
Or something like that.